and welcome to the Building Biology Potty, where we talk about better buildings to live and breathe in. My name is Jess Kismet, and today I am speaking with Sean Buchanan. Sean is a builder from Northern Tasmania and the founder of Haven Homes. He is a hugely committed advocate for better building, and with a background in carpentry and a deep respect for building science, Sean's work really stands out. He's as nerdy as they come when it comes to healthy, durable construction, and being in the cold, wet Tasmanian climate means that understanding the science of buildings is essential. I'm about to learn a thing or two, I reckon, so regardless of where you are in the world or whether you're on the tools, designing homes, or equally passionate about better buildings, I think you are too. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love it that I'm in the nerd category.
Oh, you definitely are. if our Instagram DMs are anything to go by, you definitely qualify.
Nerd's the new in thing, I think, in building, so that's not so bad.
Oh, absolutely is. Absolutely is. I think it's a badge of honor, actually.
Yeah.
So you've built a reputation for high performance homes in Tasmania. What first got you interested in this way of building rather than the conventional way? Did it come through your apprenticeship, or was that something you decided to do?
Definitely not through my apprenticeship. Done a lot of rogue things over the years. Well, not rogue things, but pretty normal, right? Like conventional building. It's not really that great, not really that durable, not really that healthy. And I think I sort of saw Matt Rising and stuff on, like, it must have just popped up on the YouTube feed one day. Got into a bit of that, thought that was pretty interesting. Looked at the Passive House stuff, thought that was pretty interesting too. And then when I found Joe Stebrick's lectures, that's when I really fell into a never-ending black hole, I think, where you just don't really. And I'd be searching down all the lectures, trying to suck as much information as I could. I think the way he communicates, because he's pretty funny, right? And it was
he's very dry.
Easy to digest the information.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a self-inflicted rabbit hole that I've put myself in. It wasn't through any sort of mandatory training or apprenticeship style learning. It was very much post my apprenticeship. Yeah,
So it must be like an inherent value you've got, because not a lot of builders choose to go down this route. You know, I know plenty who just, even if they're made aware of it, don't want to learn about it. So
I think sometimes when you stumble upon things yourself, it's easier to take, if someone's trying to tell you that you're doing it really wrong. For some people, that's hard to stomach, right? But I guess maybe because I stumbled across this myself and then had that internal reflection, I'm maybe that's not actually right. And then building some houses over the years, and then noticing water getting in places that you wouldn't think it would get in, and then just getting that higher understanding of the cladding, that's just a layer, but we need to be watertight before the cladding. That's where it all sort of started. That's where I started, and then getting the hose out and putting on things. And you go inside, you're like, gee, shit, that's interesting. There's heaps fixed now, so how about we fix that now? Yeah.
Have you ever had any instances where you haven't known where the water's coming from? Like condensation, for example, can drip from all sorts of places, and it's not necessarily obvious where it's coming from. Have you ever had anything like that?
Yeah, water's pretty funny, especially once you get into capillary action and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't think there's been one that I haven't resolved, but that doesn't mean that there hasn't been ones that hasn't taken me a long time to figure out. I just think I'm a bit of a dog with a bone. I just won't let it go.
Yep. You got to be. You got to be.
Yeah.
So what does better building mean to you personally? Not just technically, but in terms of the longer term outcomes and value in your own values.
Well, I think it, from what I've learned over the years, it's changed for me personally what I feel is doing a good job. When you're a carpenter and you hanging a door and the margins are all perfect, or you're fitting architraves and skirting and it's like fits together really nice, or you're building a deck and everything's looking perfect. That was how I would assess myself as being a good carpenter. That was
Mm-hmm.
the first standard that I went to from not knowing anything about how buildings work. And then once I started to learn a bit about more building science and water management and weather tightness, all that sort of stuff, there was like a shift that happened. It's like, oh, that it looking good is like very important, but that's like one part of it. If it doesn't last, then that's like, how can you call yourself a good carpenter if you build a structure that's not going to stand up?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to stand to the test of time.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, there was like that mental shift of what it means to me to be a good carpenter is also making it like durable and healthy and things like that.
So like personal integrity.
Yeah, yeah. You want
Yeah.
to, you want to be like, you don't want to get the call right. Like, hey, there's water inside.
No.
Yeah,
And was any
yeah.
like I suppose, the legal ramifications of a crappy building, like warranty issues and stuff like that. Was that your driver at all? Like avoiding those sorts of callbacks, like you just said, or was it more of a like, I
Um,
just want to know all of this so I can just do the best I can?
yeah, like an intrinsic value, I guess. And there's like,
Yeah.
when I'm trying to, like, when I'm talking to other builders about it, there's like two conversations you have, I feel like. There's like high performance. Oh, the client loves that. It's high performance. It's energy efficient. And then when I talk to builders, like, how about let's just not end up in court because your building leaks? Like,
Yeah.
all the high performance, dress it up, whatever you want to call it. How about let's just like focus on you not getting sued for building a crappy building that doesn't manage water correctly or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Hmm.
What mistakes or inefficiencies do you still see in the Tasmanian industry that you think it's time that we sort of stopped doing and got past, or even Australia? But you're local to Tasmania, so anything, anything locally that you can pick up on that you think is high time we move past?
Um, I guess like getting more this is probably Australia wide thing, but like getting more clarity around the like internal waterproofing
Yeah,
standards and codes. Like,
yeah,
it's just such a shit show. It seems like that you do one thing one way and a building surveyor will be happy with that. And then you do something the same way on a different job and a different building surveyor and they're not happy with that. I'm having endless conversations with builders about like, there just seems to be no clarity around that. So I feel like if they could fix that, there seems to be conflicting standards and which standard overrules a different standard in a certain situation. I think there's a lot of
yeah. Right.
frustration around that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was there a change in the 2022 code around waterproofing bathrooms?
I believe there is. I actually
Yeah.
did a course that was meant to unpack and simplify everything, and I actually found I was more confused at the end of the course because all they did was talk. It was very problem focused. I didn't feel like there was very many solutions to that. And they're like, "Oh, look, it says here to do this, but it says there to do that." And then I just got pretty disheartened with the whole thing at the end of it. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we just want to know what to do, right? We just want to know what the best practice is."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that the issue with building certifiers is so broad. You know, you know, I just think that they are under so much pressure to get so much right that I think things just fall off the wagon so
yeah,
easy. And some of them are more likely to agree with builders that they know, like let things go when they have a relationship with that builder.
yeah,
Um, and it's risky as I read an article yesterday that in New Zealand they're actually moving towards self certification for builders.
Interesting.
So builders can and plumbers
Yeah,
and plumbers can sign off on their own work
yeah, interesting.
to try and
Wow.
reduce the backlog because they're so heavily overworked. They're trying to
Yeah,
figure out ways to reduce the workload on these certifiers.
yeah,
And that to me seems like an absolutely crazy idea, but
yeah. I
getting
mean,
desperate.
like the big thing that changes the whole industry, I think, is the collaboration, and you're starting to see a bit of that movement like really take off now. I know on this project that we're currently doing, we know that waterproofing is such a big issue, right? So we
Mhm.
like sat down with the building surveyor before we did any work, and we both got really clear on what we thought the best practice was and how we were going to go about it.
Yeah.
And then you don't have, because we're just like, oh, we don't want to have that awkward conversation when you come to site, and we've gone and done some things that are pretty expensive, and
Yeah.
you're not happy with the way it's detailed. How about we just talk about it now, and we'll save
Yeah.
everyone some time and money. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, like
Planning, prior
planning,
preparation.
yeah, and giving yourself the time, giving yourself
Yeah.
time to like have a conversation about it and flesh it out, rather than just doing what you think is right, and then someone else who's signing off on it's like, that's not it, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you design in house or do you work with architects?
No, we work with architects. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Are there any particular material systems or design strategies that you find returning to again and again because they just work?
The probably like the easiest one is the ventilated cavities. Like we've got
Yeah.
that dialed in
Yeah.
pretty good now, and like how to make the finishing of those ventilated cavities look quite architectural and nice. Yeah, that is like the lowest hanging fruit, and then just
It totally is.
yeah, and just
Yeah.
like the best bang for your buck for safety. It's like just
Yeah.
giving yourself that gap and having good drainage path and getting some air in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That
You
is
did it.
like,
I saw a reel that you did the other day on the vented cavity. I didn't actually get to watch it, but I saved it so I could watch it later.
yeah, I think that was on our business page where like, so I got I got three
Yeah.
different Instagrams. Personal one, don't really use that anymore. The Tassie Builders blog,
Yeah.
which is, I guess, trade focused. Like, I
Yeah.
just want it to be
That's the
like
one
showing,
where that's the one that all the trades know, where you do all your detailing and your
yeah. And then the Haven Homes one is very much client focused. So I think that video that I did on the ventilated cavities was wanted to keep it very brief, not scientifically complex and
yeah.
talking about vapor permeability and all this shit. Like,
Yep.
just keep it really simple, because at the end of the day, like, we want our clients to understand what we do, and we pride ourselves on building something that's very durable. So it's good to have that educational content of like why we're a bit different and why we do things a bit differently to other
Yeah,
builders.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Keeping it simple is just definitely the way to go
Well, I feel like
for the
there's
uninitiated.
there's a saying, right? Like that if you understand something someone that understands something really well can explain it really simple. But then,
Mhm.
like, people that don't understand it so well, they try and use all these fancy freaking words that they
Mm.
probably don't even understand. Just gets confusing. So you can like
Yeah.
sort of pick the people. It's like, oh, you know what you're talking about because you can break that down to a
Yeah,
level
you
that,
know which bits to leave out.
yeah, yeah,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think
yeah,
it's something like if you can explain it to a 5-year-old, you have to be able to
yes,
explain something to a 5-year-old
yeah,
in
yeah,
simple terms. Um,
exactly. It's a skill in itself.
yeah, absolutely. Speaking of education, what do you think Tasmania's position is on industry education? Are they, pretty proactive?
Um, I mean, we've got some condensation management courses that um, Clarence has put together with master builders, and
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not aware of other states delivering like educational stuff like that through an industry
Hmm.
body. So like that's pretty good. Like we should
Yeah.
be, right, because we're Climate 07, so it's
Yeah.
going
Well,
to happen.
exactly.
Like, yeah, we're in the
Yep.
thick of it down here. But
Mm.
like, and they're constantly like developing that course. I think there's two or three iterations of it now.
Mm.
It's a pretty good building community, I think, in Tasmania. Like
Hmm.
everyone shares their ideas and stuff like that, which is really positive. I'm not sure what it's like over where you are, if it's pretty similar.
In South Australia, it's pretty poor.
Yeah,
Um, the collaboration and education is pretty poor. I'd say in Melbourne it's a lot better. Melbourne and Tasmania, I just guess being the wettest, coldest sort of climates in Australia,
yeah,
they have like you don't really have a choice but to be across this stuff. And
Yeah.
somehow you guys have all managed to just work really well together and sharing information and supporting each other,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
really great. Doesn't
It's
happen here. It doesn't happen
yeah.
here in
That's
South
odd.
Australia. It's not the same.
Yeah. It's really odd. I wonder why that is. Maybe Tas is like a pretty small demographic, so I don't know if it's
But
like that.
Melbourne, yeah, Melbourne's like it's big, you know?
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it's
we
like
just seem to
the way I see it is like I got passed down this industry from my boss, and now it's my industry, and I've got to do a good job, like be a bit of a custodian of looking after it and making sure you're building good buildings. And then
yeah,
like we've got our apprentice coming up, and I say to him, I'm like, mate, like I'm not going to be around forever. Like it's going to be your responsibility when I've hung up the nail bag. You're going to
yeah.
have to carry the torch and like fight the good fight, I guess.
So speaking of apprentices, you said you didn't learn any of this stuff in your apprenticeship. I think it's much more part of the industry now. So the apprentices now are gaining the benefit of the knowledge of people like yourself. So what's your method of training your apprentices?
Um,
Like do you specifically have things you teach them, or is it just like this is what a vented cavity is? This is make sure you staple this
oh
correctly.
no, we go a lot into the why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just
And
because
they
we've
buy
seen,
in?
yeah, oh, they love it. Yeah, they love it. We're
Mm.
actually like, it's not off the ground yet, but me and another mate, we're actually going to do some stuff with Tas TAFE, like around the weather
Oh yeah.
tightness. Yeah, like I'm pretty passionate about getting that implemented into the like curriculum of just teaching them like why we put the wrap on, like what its function is. Probably shouldn't be getting water in your house once the wrap's on. Before the roof's on, it's all should be taped up, and just teaching them like the basics. Because
Yeah.
yeah, that's something I want to really implement in the industry to like help affect change. Because it's like that younger generation; they're the ones that are going to steer the ship when I'm gone. So pass on that knowledge of
Yeah.
what we've learned over the years to make sure it
Yeah.
like we keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Did they see you do things like put on your mega fans to and test the moisture in the timber? Do
Yeah,
they
yeah,
see you do things like that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like our apprentice that we got, he's just great because he gets it. Like
Yeah.
he just he just gets it. So it's really good.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's really good to have, and he's so passionate about it, and he's running around with a hose too, checking stuff. Like, so it's just good. Like he's just as crazy as we are.
Well, that's what you want. That is what you
Yeah,
need. You need
yeah.
you need them crazy people on board.
Mm.
Equally nerdy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's super smart too. Like he's teaching us how to do stuff sometimes. You're like, wow. Yeah. So it's good.
Awesome.
He'll a very good guy to carry the torch forward in the good fight.
That's so good. That's so good. You got a
Yeah.
team, like building a team you can trust.
Yeah, definitely.
Have there been moments in your career where you had to push back against the norm or say no to practices you didn't believe in?
Mm. Yeah,
And how
definitely.
how did that experience shape your approach now?
Um, I guess it's just taught me the um the importance of being a good communicator. I think that's so important because like we would say we want to do something a certain way and people have these objections, but you have to help like you've got to I don't know, take your ego out of it of you being right and like be able to break it down in a way that they understand and they can like see it from their perspective and help them come around and try and see it from your perspective. I'm like really love the communication side of it and making sure people understand the importance of it and things like that.
So is that with a client you're talking about or with an architect?
Um,
Like if you had
just
to redirect.
not so much with clients or architects, more just with other trades. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
educating
Yep.
them on the importance of like, so like, why are you wasting your time doing that? You're like, aha, well,
Yeah.
it's actually not a waste of time if you know
Yeah.
this certain thing.
The
Like,
why.
oh, yeah, they're like, oh, that doesn't happen. I'm like, oh, as a matter of fact, it does because
Mm.
I've seen it leak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like what do you have an example you can think of? Like a
Um,
skylight or like what's your example?
Yeah, just more like how you connect the windows into the walls and things like that, and detailing
Yeah.
the wrap and what's a good job of doing the wrap and what's a shit job and how that shows up later down the track. Yeah.
So this
You
wrap
connect.
business. So the house that you're building at the moment. For those who haven't seen it, check out the. Is it on your Haven Homes page
Yeah, it's
more,
on the
or your
Haven Homes
Tassie Builders
page.
blog?
Yeah. Yeah.
Check out the Instagram pages of Sean's. The links will be in the show notes. The house he's building at the moment is absolutely epic, and it is. I mean, it's a bit dark now, Sean. We can't see the view anymore, but
Yeah, it's actually dark out there now. Wow.
yeah, the view is insane. The project itself is insane. It's top end project. But if you know, talking about wraps and things, all that beautiful wrappers underneath all the cladding. Have you had any like before this project? What's is this the first one you've implemented all of this stuff on, or have you been building this into your projects before now?
Yeah, it's been implemented over, say, the last 3 or 4 years. I guess like that's the journey I've been on over the last 3 or 4 years. Um,
Incrementally, or did you start like,
Definitely incrementally. Yeah, you
yeah,
just started using, I don't know, normal wraps, right? I won't say brand
yeah,
names, but normal wraps that you get from the hardware store, and then
yeah,
normal tapes, and then you're like, oh, that's actually kind of shit. I wonder if you can get a better tape. So then you switch to a better tape, and then you're like, huh, I'm pressing on this wrap, and I can nearly press through it. Wonder if there's a better one we can use. Okay, and then you find the better one, and then you like, it's just you. Yeah, you're always finding new and exciting things. And then it's like, oh fuck, is this endless, right? Like, am I
yeah,
ever gonna be? Am I ever gonna be done finding stuff?
yeah,
Yeah, but it's good. Like, it's getting more and more available to get the good quality building products, and I think there's a lot of marketing going on out there to
yeah,
educate people. And I think once you understand the function of them, when you use them as a tradesman, and you can feel how durable and how strong it is, and you see how it performs in the wind, and like you're not getting water inside your building, it's like getting a new tool, right? You're like, oh, I've got this awesome new saw. It's sweet. It's the same with the wraps and the tapes and all that sort of stuff. It's like, oh, this actually just makes my life easier.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I don't think you ever, you say I don't. Will it ever end? I mean, I'm still learning. I've been doing this for. You just never stop learning. I'm learning
Yeah,
more about timber performance, and at the moment I'm speaking to. You mentioned Clarence and his training modules earlier. I'm learning about timber treatments and things I had
yeah,
no idea about.
yeah. That sounds really
Yeah,
interesting. Like, I don't know a heap about that, so I'm sure you'll
yeah.
be able to educate me on that.
Well, that's the idea. That's the idea because
Yeah,
honestly, it's not something I hear people talk about really.
yeah, yeah.
The whole timber supply chains and where it all comes from and how it's treated and
Mm,
you know, yeah, fascinating stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so do you think, all of the talk about energy efficiency, all the training modules and all the stuff that happens around the place, do you think any of that gets lost in translation when it comes to site? And or do you use the same trades on every project?
yes, yeah.
You do.
It's just
So
less.
they are obviously
Yeah,
they're yeah. They get taught your ways and that's you can rely on that. But in your sort of previous experience or a lot of knowledge around the industry, do you think it gets lost in translation,
yeah.
the
I think so.
sustainability stuff?
Yeah, I think products get sold and then overhyped up, and people don't understand the fundamentals behind certain products, and then you'll see a product installed in a way that's not going to like, because they've read the flashy label like, oh, it's this ultra high performance. I hate that. Everything like you get duct tape that's high performance with the staples, right? We buy these staples for putting the wrap on or whatever, and they're like high performance staples. I'm like, of course it is. It's such a. I feel like high performance is such a buzzword.
The new
Kills
green.
me. Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Oh God.
yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah, like I feel like it's you got to understand a bit of the fundamentals, and then you can make your decisions on like, oh, that's going to be a good choice or whatnot. Not
yeah,
just like lapping up what the rep tells you for the latest and greatest thing. Because
The reps
everything,
for the most part.
like all the like, we've done Zara's Healthy Homes course, right?
Mhm.
And that's like very nerdy and very eye opening. Of she's looked a lot deeper than what people say about the labels, and she gets the material data, and she's like, oh well, that's probably not what you're saying. It's like low VOC, but when I look at the metrics for what low VOC, it's actually probably not as good as what that could be. I feel like there's a
Yeah,
lot of that in the industry. Maybe it's not enough
yeah,
regulation or what it is, but yeah.
yeah. I found when I first started doing this energy efficiency stuff, like years and years ago, people would come to me thinking that a building wrap was the same as insulation.
Mm,
Like the foils, they think that it would perform the same as insulation. They still think it. They still think that if you put a foil in your walls, that it's going to make the wall amazing.
yeah.
And it's just not the case. It has a good function depending on the product, but the application and the type of product makes a massive difference. And there's just zero understanding about any of that.
Yeah. And that's where I think it like it's going to be fed from the bottom, right? So if we can educate the apprentices coming through now about some of these principles, then they're going to be better armed with some tools to when someone like a rep's telling them something about a certain product, and you're like, oh well, I understand the fundamentals of this, and like that's just not right what you're saying, like,
Mm,
or it's
mm.
not as good as what you're saying it is.
Yeah, and that education for the trades and the apprentices is crucial in product selection as well, because often you'll find products specified, and we keep coming back to building wrap, but that's just the best example of a product that gets specified on the plans by an architect. And if the tradesman purchasing that product doesn't understand the difference between this class and that class of building wrap, or this product
Mm,
and that product, then the
mm,
chances are they're going to choose uh, a product of lower quality or lower cost,
mm.
and have knock on impacts on the house, or actually push it into non building code compliance without even knowing.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's something that is a big. I find that a big concern.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, like it's real easy to get right. So if we could just
Mm,
like, I just tell people like the cladding, yeah, whatever, you can pull your cladding off and redo that. But if we don't get the wrap right, like cladding is, it's a like it's got a lifespan, right? Like it'll have a use by date where it's going to be have to be pulled off at some stage, whether that's like 50 years, 70 years, or whatever. But it's what's behind the cladding that has that massive impact on
mm,
what is going to make your home durable and
mm.
stand the test of time. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, has there been anything about construction that you used to believe that you've changed your mind on? Anything inherent?
Oh yeah, definitely. That going quick is good. Like, and I'll like speed is a good thing, and speed on site. Like, yeah, just coming up through my career, like we used to work so fast and put houses together so quickly and just miss so many critical steps. So I think just
Is that something you were taught during your apprenticeship? Like just
yeah,
like leading by example, these trades were just like knock it up.
yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
just like this ultra efficiency machine churning out houses, and it's like, oh, there's so many. Like you can still do an efficient. Don't get me wrong, you can still be efficient and you can still work efficiently, but yeah, you just need to take some time to get things right. And as you get better at doing that, like you get more efficient in that. But yeah, just like missing so many criticals. Like we used to put the wrap on, not even tape any of the seams or anything like that, not tape it in around the windows. Like never used to use cavities. We just like make sure you set your studs out so you don't have to put battens on, so you can nail it all off. And like I think back to that now, it's like far out. But the biggest thing I think, and yeah, the biggest thing I think, like how I used to think was like, yeah, speed is doing something quickly is everything. And you want that, like you've got that drive inside you that like I want to be a good, efficient tradesman. I want to get these walls up today. I want to do this today, and that still have like you still have that little bug inside you, but yeah, there's like but we've got to do that correctly. So we've got to do that in the right sequence and with the right products and things like that.
Yeah, you can tell from your social media presence that you are now quite meticulous.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do go down the rabbit hole a lot at work, but it's just like it's really enjoyable because everyone's so on board with it and everyone has a different perspective. So you capture a lot of things. You're like, oh, but have you thought about how that is going to work? Like, not even just with building science, but like with follow on consequences aesthetically and stuff like that. We do pride ourselves on being very, detail oriented, and we all get a lot out of that.
And how long has that cladding taken so far?
Oh, probably 3.5 months, I reckon, and another 2 months to go.
Just on cladding.
Just on the cladding. There's over 7 kilometres of chiplap timber cladding going on.
Holy moly!
Yeah, that's the most.
Does that get boring?
Not particularly, because how we do it, it's very systemized. Like, there's a guy that only cuts boards, right? So we'll figure out when we're doing the angled walls, we're like, okay, well, the boards increase in this instance 29 mil per board at 12 degrees, and then we'll write a cut list for that bloke, and then he'll just go and hang out at the drop saw all day, and he stacks out on a bench so he knows where all his joins are and stuff like that. And then you'll have guys fitting, guys coming back and screwing off. We're doing quite a bit of detailing around the corners and the seals. But when you get sick of that, you just swap jobs. So, like, if you do 2 days on the saw, you're like, right, I'm going to go on the wall for the rest of the week. But everyone wants to be on the saw because you can put the headphones in, listen to music, you've got your list. You don't have to deal with the complexities of installing and making sure things are plumb and working to the right marks. You can just sit on the saw and cut. So that's like everyone fights for that job.
Yeah. That sounds like the sweet spot.
Yeah.
It's time for a quick sponsor shout out. Today's episode of the Building Sciology Potty is proudly brought to you by our amazing sponsors, Enduro Builders and Climasure. A huge thank you to these incredible businesses for supporting the podcast and helping us spread the word about better buildings to live and breathe in. Your support makes this podcast possible. Please head over to their websites and follow their social pages. So if you had the power to change one section of the National Construction Code, what would it be?
More mandatory inspections. No one wants to hear that. Yeah, but how can we go from frame state? Like, it's just, there's so much stuff that can get missed from getting your frame signed off till the next inspection. It's just
Which is when?
Crazy.
Can you take us through what the inspection requirements are in Tasmania? Because they're different from state to state.
Yeah, so we'll get like a reinforced or a foundation inspection. So they inspect your footings and your slab, and then they'll come and inspect the frame. And then, like, you got the bank inspections, they don't really matter, but then it's like practical completion after that.
And what do they check?
For practical completion?
Yeah.
That you've got
because once the slab's okay and once the frame is being ticked off as compliant with the building code or whatever, what is it at practical completion that
making sure that you've got like the appropriate amenities in, so like you've got a kitchen, functioning bathroom, laundry, things like that.
Like making sure you've got a kitchen. Pretty sure you wouldn't have a client if you didn't have a kitchen.
Yeah. But what about the insulation inspection? What about testing the air conditioning condensation drains to make sure they don't leak? Because that's or what about testing the plumbing waste to make sure they don't leak? Like, what about all the things that are going to cost you heaps of money?
Yeah.
Like, if they fail, why don't we have, like, we do our own internal checks right? Just because we're nerdy about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but you guys have got that level of integrity that means that you will check for yourself.
Yeah, but it's like, and I don't want to over-regulate things. I just feel like insulation is a massive one for like getting that right, and it just it's done very poorly. Like that is always something that is a lot of effort to get right. Is like making sure the insulation is installed correctly, and it's that is always the one you're like getting them back. You're like, nah, see that you've got 15 pieces of insulation stuffed in one stud bay. How about we just put like one bat instead of all your offcuts? And
Oh wow,
it is crazy. And you see it
it's
all
so
over
hard though.
Instagram, right? The insulation jobs and that. You're like, what the?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I look at some of the ones that I've got on my like camera, like photo bank from the builders I work with, and they're just so satisfying. It's so pretty. They're so nice. It's so neat. And then I see other ones, and I'm like, oh, geez.
It'd be good if there was like a cost competitive product that wasn't itchy. Like fiberglass is just so popular. But if wood fiber could be more like economical for cost or something like that. Or if we could just insulate externally, like that would make it a whole lot easier, but it's expensive, right?
Oh, it is, and it's so much for people to like to get to wrap their heads around. Insulating externally is like another stratosphere to what we do here.
Do you think it'll ever get to that external insulation? Do you ever think that will be a common thing, or do you reckon it's just so cost prohibitive?
Building code?
Yeah.
Oh, I think probably not. Probably not. I don't know. Just logistically, just if it's hard enough to get builders or carpenters to switch out one wrap for another wrap and tape it properly, just the mental shift is so hard. Then getting them to shift from stud insulation to external insulation. The only place I can see that would be really, really valuable would be in steel frame homes. That needs to happen. Because sticking insulation inside a steel frame is like a drop in the ocean. You may as well not even worry about it. So external insulation for steel frame.
Do you see much of that steel frame? Like, I don't see much of that in our market. Is that
it's everywhere?
Popular? Really?
Everywhere.
And what's the
in
go
Adelaide?
With that? Is it like cheaper to do or something? Like, I'm a carpenter, so we have like saws that cut timber. Like, I don't want to go build a house with a riveter and a set of tin snips.
No, I know, right? I don't get it either. And every time I see a steel framed house, I'm just like, oh, it's just, and just because I know what I know, it just makes me. I just feel really sorry for the owners of the house because they're just building problems that they're not quite aware of. Although, I mean, I have to say, I haven't, despite steel being such a poor performing product in terms of building science and thermal efficiency, I haven't heard in my personal travels too many horror stories. I've heard lots across the industry, but I haven't heard too many from people directly. So, that's good. But I know that they're out there, and I just it's externally insulating steel. And the biggest problem is like the modular industry is a lot of that is steel. And that's based on speed. They want to get these buildings done quickly, and then you tell them they've got to do a different wrap or a different or externally insulate, and it changes their whole system. And so that's just again cost prohibitive, system prohibitive, mental shift prohibitive.
And so how are those buildings even code compliant? Like, if condensation is now listed in the building code, how can you install a regular aluminium window? That's what I can't understand. Because I've seen them. Like, I'm like, oh, look, condensation where we thought it was.
Yeah.
And if we know that happens, like, how does that get signed off? That's
Well,
always
aluminium
fascinated me.
windows, that's not part of the condensation requirements. Like obviously we know that's a massive thermal bridge, but there's
Hmm.
no requirements around window frames and condensation. That's
But doesn't
all
is
roof and walls.
isn't the but doesn't it say what's the I can't remember what the wording in the code is, but it says something you must to mitigate condensation or something like that. Like how can you say that you're mitigating condensation by putting an aluminium window in a house because you know that
It's a good point. It's a good point. In
like
the presentation I watched today, Tim Law did a presentation today, and he says something about deemed to satisfy. Uh, what did he say? Deemed to satisfy is not good enough. Like it has to be deemed like, oh, what did he say? I wrote down the quote, like performance
mm,
verified or something. And it was just really a really interesting thing he said, because deemed to satisfy and the building code is like not at all going to give you a building that performs well. What did
yeah.
he say? Oh, deemed to satisfy versus actually satisfying.
Yeah, yeah,
Deemed
yeah.
to satisfy is not the same as fit for purpose. That's what he was getting at.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's no requirements in there for mitigating condensation on aluminium window frames, and it's actually
Mm,
a very good point that you make,
mm,
because I hadn't thought about it in those
yeah.
exact terms.
I feel like someone's going to end up in court one day and they'll be like, yeah, but aluminium windows condensate, and we say in the code that you must like mitigate condensation, and then that'll be the catalyst, and then the aluminium
Yeah,
window manufacturers will be like,
yeah,
no more aluminium
reactive rather
windows.
than proactive. Sounds about right. So, what legacy are you wanting to leave behind you with Haven Homes?
I do want to make a bit of an impact on the industry and for carpenters to understand what it means to be a carpenter and that it's not just like, I don't know, being a tradie can get a bit of a bad rap, like, oh yeah, you dropped out of college and blah, blah, blah. But it's actually such an important job. Like building someone's house, it's probably like one of the biggest investments they're ever going to make. Um, and it has a massive impact on them, like not just financially, from like a health perspective. So getting people to understand the importance of like how important it is to be a builder or a carpenter and like what a special job that is and the impact that you can have on people. It's not just a trade.
No, and you leave a legacy with every single client,
Hmm. Yeah.
and potentially every single trade you come into contact with. Like that ripple effect
Yeah.
is
It's
huge.
massive. Yeah. Like, because I didn't used to think like that. It's sort of like I've thought about it a lot and what it means to me, and that's why I want to get involved and do stuff with the TAFE so that we can, yeah, like help educate that up and coming generation. So the industry is just moving, like it's just moving forward. We're not taking backward steps because it's happened. Like all the problems, it's already happened everywhere. It's
Yeah,
not new. None of this is new. Like, just go look in America, go look in New Zealand.
yeah, I
They've
know,
stuffed it all up. It's like, oh, we don't have
I
to stuff
know,
it up. They've done it. They stuffed it up. We just don't do that.
I know, and we're so slow at learning those lessons.
Mm, yeah, it is very
It's
hard.
yeah. Okay, we have reached our final question. You have taken on the role of educator a lot on your Tassie Builders blog Instagram page in particular. Very valuable videos that you put up there, showing all of your followers how to do certain things. If there's one thing that you want people to know from your everything you've learned in your career, what would that be? One single thing.
Um, that it's okay to not like. It's all right to be where you're at of like not knowing how to do something well, but like once you've got that awareness, it's like then it's on you to change. Like no one's going to force you to change. You've got to take those steps yourself. So like acknowledging where you're at, like because that's where I was. Like I didn't know any of that stuff, and then took the steps to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, cool. That's great advice. You don't
Mm.
know what you don't know. And
Yes, that's right.
the whole point of these conversations is because when you know better, you can do better. So,
Exactly.
hopefully
Yeah.
this conversation that we've just had will give someone
Mm.
some knowledge
Yeah, and the
or some
information's out
impetus
there,
to go and learn some more.
and information's out there, and I think Instagram seems to be a pretty good place for the most part. Like, especially in the circles that I seem to hang out with, everyone's really happy to share, and like you can ask questions and
Yeah,
find
yeah.
things out, and it's like doesn't seem like a very judgy place. It's a very good place to learn. That's been my experience anyway.
Yeah, and that's been a real shift that, we talked about this at the beginning of our chat. It's been such a shift.
Hmm.
Just the sharing of information amongst builders has been so good. Like,
Yeah,
and the community that it's building is so powerful. It's so good.
yeah, 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 definitely. It might be that generational change through the industry too. I mean, when I was
Yeah.
coming up, we didn't really talk to other builders as such. Like we didn't really collaborate with other builders or like architects when I was coming up. They're like, oh, architects, blah 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 blah. And now we're like,
Yeah.
hey, we want to sit down with you in the early and have the early chats and like, how good's this?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
can talk about it and figure it out before we go to site and it gets expensive. And
Yeah. So
mm,
do you collaborate really well with your architect? Do you have one
yeah,
architect?
we've got a few different ones. Like we have a bit of a network of people that we like to
Mm-hmm.
work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, like collaboration's massive for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
like getting involved. We tell like the clients like as soon as you like if you're sitting down with a designer, we want to sit in too. We just want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
understand the brief. Know what you're trying to achieve. We can like we don't want to steer design. We just want to help make sure you can get what you want and provide like at our value of like buildability and cost. That's where builders add value
Absolutely.
in those early things. Like, oh yeah, well we've done this before, we've done it this way before, and it was actually not as efficient. Like, why don't we try and do it a different way, like this, and we still get the same architectural outcomes? Like, yeah, that's great. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
I'm not much of a sports person, but I just like always relate it back to like playing a game of footy or whatever. And like if building a house is like that grand final match and you're the client, it's like, well, wouldn't you want all the players to like be on the same team and be communicating early before we rock up to site and try and do the grand final thing? Like wouldn't that make sense to you? I don't know.
That's a really cool analogy, and I think a lot of builders could relate to that.
Yeah. Well, it's just better for everyone.
Mm.
Yeah, everyone's got a lot more clarity and understanding. Everyone knows what direction they're pulling in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It must have been quite a lonely place before all of this, like as a builder or an architect or, even a trade. Like everyone's just sort of in their own silo doing their own thing. Must
yeah,
have kind of been a bit
like
lonely.
just challenging to get good outcomes too. Like
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many things that have got to link up and talk to each other. So
And
that,
everyone's pissed off with each other too. Like, isn't it pretty common that, plumbers are
mm,
annoyed at the electricians because they did this, and carpenters are annoyed at
yeah,
the plasterers
yeah,
because they did this?
yeah, yeah, and
But if
that's one of the important things of using like just using the same trades all the time. I think because
Yeah.
you know what you're going to get out of people. You know they know your expectations of them and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that team. It's like as Haven Homes, we're bringing our team that we can give you this great thing. Like
Yeah.
yeah, just yeah, it works for team sports, so it should work for building, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a really good analogy. I'm gonna steal that and use that in the future.
Yeah, go for it.
I think you were the first person to talk to me about, or was it you? Might have been the early days when I didn't quite like weren't familiar with you, and you said that you were chalking up your bottom plates to stop water. Is that you
Mm. It
packing
was
your
an
bottom
idea that I
plates?
was having because it like
Yeah,
we built through the middle of winter, split level
yeah,
job, plates hard down, come to work, swimming pool. I'm
yeah,
like, well, that's kind of shit, isn't it?
yeah,
And then there's people like, oh, um, everything's got to be prefabbed and like prefab's great, but we're not doing that yet. So what are we doing? Like
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
that's my big thing is like that's a cool idea, but that's not what we're doing here. So what are we
yeah.
gonna? What are we going
How are
to
we
do?
going to
Like,
fix this?
everyone should build a passive house. Cool. Not everyone's going to build a
Mm.
passive house. So what are we going to do? Yeah.
Yeah. But even passive houses still get rained on. Like, just because it's a
Yeah.
passive house doesn't mean that it doesn't not subject to the weather. You still have to protect the timber.
Yeah.
Which is why
New
you get the
Zealand,
wrap on so quickly.
Yeah, in New Zealand they've got like, I think they're called skate plates, and they go underneath. They go underneath the studs or whatever. I did speak to an engineer about it, and he just sort of said like, I'd want to know like before you started doing that, just so I could make sure that was all going to be okay.
Mm.
And it's like, and then like I haven't done it, but it's like, what are the follow-on implications that we're not thinking of by doing that? Like, it's good for draining the water through the wet months, but does it have any follow-on implications? Not sure. I'd have to do it and then be like, oh, that's why.
That's why you don't do that. Now I know.
But it makes a lot of sense, especially if you're building through that, like, from that aspect. If you're building, like, if you know you're going to do a build framing coming through winter, like, yeah. Because, like, the houses we build are generally quite, well, have built in the past are generally quite large. So they say, we'll just get it wrapped. And it's like, yeah. 550 square meters of home, you just don't just get it wrapped.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of home.
That's a lot of house.
So what study have you undertaken, Sean, in your quest for better building?
I guess formally, passive house, like the passive house tradesperson course. That was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But having done a lot of Joe Stiebrick's lectures, and then I had a lot of nuanced questions that they would not give me the answer to, because I wanted to operate in not passive house territory. I'm like, oh, yes, but I'm out in the weeds and I've got this thing going on. And they're like, oh, yes, that's not passive house, so we don't talk about that. I was like, oh, okay,
yes.
that's not that helpful. Yeah, well, they'd say, oh, I'll just build a passive house. Like, yeah, cool, got you. So that, I did the HIA Green Smart thing quite a while ago. That was pretty good. Like, a couple of steps down from the passive house one. For me, when I'm looking for like a good course, it's got to be like, get right into it. Tell me what them molecules are doing. I don't know why. I just get so fixated on that stuff. So the next one that I'm doing is Joe Stiebrick's Building Science Fundamentals course, and that one is going to be A1. There is Christine Williamson.
That's his daughter, you know that, right?
Yeah. So she has a course too. I'll probably do that one as well. Because she's got great content. Hopefully she gets back on the gram soon.
She is. She was on. She's back. She had triplets.
Ah,
she had triplets, and she just disappeared. That's why she disappeared. I know. She just disappeared from the internet, and then it's like, this is why I disappeared from the internet. And there's 3 babies. I'm like, whoa.
Oh wow. Yeah, her and Asiri Designs. He's got a really great Instagram.
Yeah,
page.
he's next level. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So Asiri.
Yeah, Asiri. Joe. Christine Williamson.
So that's what's next for you. And you've already done. That's so exciting. And you've already done HIA Green Smart, and you've already done the Passive House Tradesman's course.
Yeah, and then I've done.
And all of this is off your own back.
Yes, and I've probably done a couple 100 hours in the YouTube, if that counts for anything.
I should. There should be a YouTube's degree, I swear. There really should. Yeah. It's not fair that we can learn all this stuff on YouTube and not get credit for it.
Yeah. It's good. I'm really looking forward to the Joe Stiebrick one, though. I think that is going to be like, they're really going to get into the weeds on that, because you've done that one. Is that correct? I did do it. 4:30 a.m. starts here in Australia. You might get half an hour grace. Maybe it's 5 a.m. for you. I'm not sure. But it was really good. It was really good and amusing. You know, he's an amusing character. But he'll stop for questions as well, which is really good. He doesn't just talk. He's open to communicating with all of the attendees as you go. So it's pretty well run. Yeah.
I struggled with the translation between American terminology and Australian terminology, and American like building, like the way their standard builds are compared to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not all that different, but they do things like external insulation, and
Yeah.
they have all these different boards they put on the outsides of their frames, and they do different types of roofs, and
Yeah.
so matching up America to Australia, I just had to take a minute to wrap my head around that. But the content itself, because all the building science principles apply across the board. So I found it really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny thing, is like when people are like, oh, we're not building in Antarctica, Sean. You're like, yeah, well, science is the same here as it is there, mate.
Yeah.
Like, there's still the fundamentals we've got to address.
I know. Heat, air, and moisture are everywhere, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so when you did his course, was it like mostly designers and consultants and stuff, or was there tradespeople in there? Or
I reckon it was mostly builders in there.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I reckon it was. Yeah. I reckon, how many people would there have been? 30 odd people, I reckon.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
But there's always one guy.
Yeah.
Constantly asking questions. That's probably going to be you.
That'll be me. And like, all right, shut up, Australia, no more questions from Australia, thank you.
But yeah, you'll love it. It was a great course.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. All right, Sean. Well, I think that is the end of our chat. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time.
Oh no, thank you for having me. It's been great.
That is all for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. There'll be another episode in a fortnight, so if you would like to listen into the types of conversations that I have all the time, please subscribe on your chosen platform. Rate the show, leave a comment, whatever you like, share with your friends and family. I'd love for you to spread the word about the Building Sciology Potty. There's a link in the episode description where you can head to a landing page, and there are some show notes there with relevant links and a full transcript of the show as well, and also links to my socials. So if you're not already, I'd love for you to follow along there too, as I share lots of building science and building biology tips. There's also a contact page where you can send me an email or even a voice message. So if you've got questions or suggestions or guest ideas, I'd love to hear from you. I want to know what you want to know, so please get in touch with me. Thanks again. I'll be back in 2 weeks. So until then, happy healthy building.